Orchestra, welcome back. Today we're looking at number 339, Slurs and Scales on page 29 in your books. So in Slurs and Scales, pretty much we're just going through the scale of the D major scale that we've learned earlier in the book, and we're adding now the slurs to it rather than just détacher everything. And you'll notice that, maybe you'll notice this if you're looking at patterns, like a pattern person that I am. I like to look for patterns. Every bow movement here is worth 2 beats. What I mean by that is that every time you remove your bow, it'll be after 2 beats at a time. Look at measure 1. In fact, look at all the measures, including the first 2 beats of every one. You have a slur, okay? 2 quarter notes, all right, are slurred together. 1 plus 1 equals 2, essentially making it a half note bow or rhythm. But the pitches are different, so they make them a slur rather than a tie. But you're still going to bow for 2 beats, just like you would a normal half note in the following beat 3 and 4 of that measure, except for measure 3 and measure 7, where you have 4 quarter notes. But here's what I mean. I'm going to go through the bow directions with you as we talk about the fingers, or not the fingers, well, the pitches and the fingerings, okay? So we're going to go for the first measure. We have open D, 1 E, all down bow, and then up bow F sharp for the same amount of beats. Then we have measure 2, F sharp down bow, that's 3 fingers cello, 2 fingers violin viola, and down bow still to G, that's 4 fingers cello to 3 fingers violin viola. Then up bow A, that's open A for cello, but 4th finger violins viola. And that's the orange tape if you have the don't fret tapes, or that 4th finger red tape that's far away. Then measure 3 is the fun part. We have D, E, down bow, up bow, F sharp, G. And then we have the next measure, measure 4, half note A, open A cello, 4th finger violin viola, and half note, 4th finger A, open A again. Then we go to the next line, measure 5. We're all going to start on an open A, down bow to B, okay? Those 2 are both down bow. Then we go to up bow B, half note. Then we'll play C sharp, down bow still to a high D. Okay, so that's C sharp, 3 fingers to 4 fingers cello, high D. Violins viola, that's 2 fingers F sharp to 3 high D on the A string. Up bow high D again. And then we'll do that kind of scale on the A string. Down bow A, B, up bow C sharp high D, and then down bow high D half note, up bow high D half note. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at on the cello what this is going to sound like, okay? All right, so I have my cello. Again, I'm making sure that my instrument is already in tune before I record. And for this computer, I'm going to tilt the screen down a little bit because that's where the camera is, so I can see all of me in the frame for the recording, and you can see all of me. So remember that the first pitch we're going to start with is an open D. Okay. Again, look at how much room I'm giving myself away from the camera so you can see all of this. All right. And then we're going to slur up to an E as a down bow movement. So let's just kind of go over that movement real quick. Again, make sure that you're moving your fingers rhythmically, just like you would if you're détaché, but on a slur. Okay, let's get started. Here we go from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next line. All right, so that's what it's supposed to sound like for your recording on the cello, okay? Again, make sure that your instrument's in tune because you're using both strings. I need to be able to hear that. Watch my YouTube video on how to tune your instrument. And if you need help, you can always hop on a Zoom during the Zoom times during the school day, or just ask me to set up a little Zoom meeting maybe sometime during my conferences in the morning, which you can find on on my website. Okay, now let's try it on the violin and viola. Okay, here we have a viola. I'm going to play number 339, same tempo I did earlier, very slow tempo. Okay, on the slurs and scales. Again, I'm going to try maneuver my body into the frame so you can see everything, including my fingers. Most importantly, the playing part of my of the video. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. That's for the violin and viola. Again, making sure you're playing those fourth finger A's, and I mean that especially for measure 4, where they're both fourth finger A. It's already marked as a fourth finger for the first one, so we have to assume the next one is also fourth finger. We got to start working on that. In most music, it's like that when we have a fingering like that there. And then, of course, you have a 0 on the first A on the next line, that measure 5, because we want us to play an open A there. So anyways, make sure that you ask me questions if you have any on your recordings. Make sure your instrument is in tune. If you're having trouble with anything, work it out before you submit your recording. All right. Again, I like them to be turned in on time, but I don't like them turned in if you can't play them well enough to your best. If you're just doing it, for example, right after you watch this video and not taking the time to work on it afterwards, or rewinding and trying to play along with me, I can kind of tell at this point whether you've worked on it or not, based on your recordings in the past. But again, try to hop on those Zooms if you can during the school day. If you can't, I understand. Everybody's busy. I can't wait to see your recordings. Good luck and keep it coming. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.